folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. I want to talk about this thing that's going on that we all woke up to. Seen a few channels do stuff, but I thought I'd come on with this one because it's got the largest community and put some things out there for people to consider, with what's going on. As you all know, we have 100 days or so before the next big popularity contest that happens, and a lot of crazy things are going to start to happen. And I think this one definitely plays into it as a place that is, or a thing that is going on that is something to consider that kind of came out of nowhere. If you know and have been here for a long time, or at least recently, we've been saying that the next few months are going to be nuts, and there's a lot of things for people to consider into their preparedness and to get ready. And this is definitely in the ballpark of all the craziness that can go down. So I want to tell you kind of what happened, because I was tabulating the crisis report, which I will go into directly after. With everything, there's of course a lot more going on globally. There's a major breach in Tel Aviv skies. A drone came out of nowhere from the Mediterranean. They don't know exactly who or how or where, but it struck 100 meters from the American embassy in Tel Aviv. So we're going to talk about that over there. But this has definitely taken a lot of the wind out of the room. So I'm going to give you an overview, and then we're going to talk about, this is going to be a long one today. This is just kind of a one-off. But everybody woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time here in America. Outages started to be reported from Windows-based computers. This is not Mac and this is not Linux, okay? So Windows-based computers, which are ubiquitous, they're everywhere, they're in all the countries, started to get these blue screens of death, as it was affectionately known back in the day when I was growing up. If you got the blue screen of death on your computer, you were pretty much looking for a new computer. So the blue screen of death was unfolding across millions, literally, of computer screens across the world. I've heard the Philippines has been affected. I've heard Australia has been affected. I heard many ministries in the United Arab Emirates have all had major issues happen from all of this. And it just goes on and on and on. And if here in America, if you had the misfortune of trying to fly anywhere in the early hours of July 19th, you would have had a full-on ground stop. The three major airlines were all experiencing problems, as you can see right here with this flight check information screen that are, of course, in all kinds of different airports across the world. Hartsfield-Jackson, which is considered by many to be the largest airport in the world, or at least the busiest, maybe not physically largest, but definitely one of the busiest in the world, was effectively came to a stop. The pictures that are coming out of people standing in line and not having a clue were reminiscent of a terrible snowstorm that went through over Thanksgiving or Christmas time and held everybody up at the airport. So this thing is cascading, it's going along, and CrowdStrike is, of course, for those that don't remember, one of the major cybersecurity, if not the foremost major cybersecurity companies on the planet, okay? It is all they do, it is what they do, and they are employed by multiple corporations because they're seemingly good at what they do. Now, this was not, now according to their words, I'm not going to, wax poetic here, but according to their words, it was not a cyber attack. It was a update gone wrong on this system called Falcon Sensor. Okay, Falcon Sensor is this part of something that is in the security detail of the computers of many different systems and corporations and whatever governments across the world. And the thing went haywire. They updated it, and the thing just went sideways from there. And then everything started to shut down, and problems ensued. This has affected banks. This has affected airlines. This has affected travel. Washington, D.C., and basically said they couldn't run their trains from all of this. New York City couldn't find where the trains were on their system map. I've used both systems. I've used New York's system hundreds of times when I lived there for 78 years. It is a major problem and is affecting different aspects of our travel and infrastructure and everything else. There are worries that people have been getting out money from their ATMs, and there's worry that ATM systems will start to be affected because of the overuse of people going in and trying to get cash out. Now, I posted all of this about an hour ago, and the first thing I do when I find something of great importance is I find it, I vet it, and then if it is something that is known, I put it out onto my community members here and my members of my Subscribestar and locals, okay? I put this out on the membership here about an hour plus ago. I think it was about 9 o'clock. When I wake up, I turn my phone on. First thing I do, and I start to tabulate, as I call it. And this thing was everywhere. So put it out there for those people so they knew immediately. And, people didn't really know what was going on. They're freaking out. I have had people in the comments of my membership on the community page here for PrepperNow and for Crisis Report, which I'll be going live onto after with the full detailed report, say that their bank cards have been acting up. One person said that he had a simple charge on his card, and it kept recharging it. Something was going on where it kept trying to process the charge. Now, these are anecdotal. It doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. It just means that these are little things that are going on across the world. The UAE, United Arab Emirates, basically said that their ministerial systems and their government have been majorly affected. It's disruptive. There is a guy by the name of Troy Jones, and I think his name is Troy Jones or Troy something. His first name is Troy, Australian IT guru guy. I think he's a professor. He said that right now, as it is, this is the largest global IT outage that has ever happened. This is unprecedented, historic, and still unfolding, really. So, CrowdStrike, of course, is the name. So let's just go and see what we've got going on with all of this right now. This is the Vegas sphere, okay? Now, for those that know what the Vegas sphere is, it's this big, really, neat-looking display in Las Vegas that puts up different messages and has, really cool things up there. Sometimes they're kind of freaky. And it got the blue screen of death. I mean, look at that right now. That's not like your buddy's computer. That is major infrastructure in a major American city. Let's keep going. Handwriting boarding passes handed out at Hyderabad Airport for the last 5 hours. Massive global outage disrupted numerous services worldwide. Airlines, banks, media outlets, stock markets. Let's talk about that. First and foremost, CrowdStrike's stock, their stock is currently, from the last moment, about 15 minutes ago when I was tabulating and getting everything done, CrowdStrike, their stock was down 20%. That's immense. You get above anything in the stock market price that is more than 5%. If it's 5 to 10, it's really bad. 5 and under is kind of like a one-off, we can come back from it. 5 to 10 was major crap happened, but there's still a hope. 10 or above, 10 to 20, like 20%, you have major issues that's going on with your company. So as you can see, these blue screens of death were absolutely everywhere, all over the planet. So, moving on. Windows 11. So again, this was not Mac. This was not Linux. I am currently working from a Mac. Okay, I'm a Mac guy. I like Apple. My wife, who is on a Windows-based system for her job, she works for one of the largest medical networks in the country, works from home. Immediately this happened, and she was in between patients because she does, telemed or whatever. So she gets done seeing a patient, and I can tell when the noise from the background in the office is done. So I knock on her door and I say, "Hey, how are you guys going with your information, your IT systems?" And she said hers were fine, and there hadn't been any kind of a notification or anything. So medical, at least on her level, seems to be all right. But this is airport right now. This is LAX, family members, long list of canceled flights, as you can see on your left. So let me get this straight. Xbox can run during a global outage, but our airports and banks can't. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So here we go. The workers of the airports and banks and hospitals are all in the world are basically failing in a global outage. That's as much as I can get. I'm pretty good. I do kitchen Spanish. I'm all right. Social media users around the world are posting pictures of blue screens. Uniqlo, right up here. This is obviously a grocery store. So imagine that. Okay, let's step off the bus here, and let's talk about why this is important, especially if you're into preparedness, which is the base level stuff we do here. We talk about the things going on in the world, but then we always bring it back to preparedness. Now, I don't know about you, but we have money out that can go quite some time, not forever. I don't have everything out. I don't dump my bank and put it all into a safe at my house, but we have a nice amount of money should something go wrong. Now, imagine you go to Aldi. That looks like an Aldi in the top right corner. And you're seeing these blue screens, and, you're one of the normies, and the normies, you don't have all your stuff together, and you just, you got like a bottle of water and some mayonnaise in your fridge, and then all of a sudden it gets out that this thing is worldwide, and you might have to go a few days with some food, and you show up to the grocery store, and all of the cash registers, registers, because we don't do cash here anymore. And what could go wrong if we don't have cash, right, folks? Right? What could go wrong? And you see those blue screens, you're not buying anything. You're sitting there with a bag of potato chips and bananas, and you're done. That's it. You got to put them back. You're not going anywhere. So have cash out, first and foremost. Dave from Southern Prepper 1 did a story about how a guy couldn't find gas in the Houston hurricane. It's always wise to have your vehicles filled. We never let our vehicles go half below. At least I try not. I don't. My wife sometimes will. She's her own thing. But yeah, we try to always keep our stuff filled up. So here we go. Linux. Installing Linux is the second best choice I made in my life. Windows. And what is the best choice? Deleting Windows. So again, Linux and Mac are fine, which is why I'm here doing my thing. I don't know. But I probably wouldn't have been affected. This computer is dedicated to the whole PrepperNow experience. By the way, if you are new here, if you are just joining and you've never been to PrepperNow, we have a very growing community of some of the smartest people that really, really, really will help you. There's great comments. Again, we try to go not hyperbolic. We try to go very intelligent here and smart because we think you're smart. Please consider hitting the like button, doing the subscribe thing, and coming back for more so we can keep things going and tell you in real time. For those that have been around, they will tell you that I usually get stuff not just pretty much immediately and ahead of most people, but I also tend to get it all correct, or at least mostly knowledgeable, so you know exactly what's going on. That is what I've basically dedicated myself here to YouTube. And I have a report that's about to come on. It's more focused on the different conflicts around the world called the Crisis Report. Link is in the description, youtube.com/@crisis report. I'm about to do that. It's a 30 to 45 minute basically telling of every single thing in the last 24 hours that has gone on from all the headlines and open source intelligence. So, India, hit. This is the blue screen of death. This is what everybody's getting, right, over the last, and it's still not fixed. They're still updating. They're saying that they've got this thing under control, and it is not a cyber attack. This was not a cyber attack. This was an upgrade to a Falcon sensor, whatever they do, an update to this thing called Falcon sensor. But all these people are getting all these different stuff. Everywhere we look, blue screens of death. Absolutely correct. And the funny thing is that this is really isn't super large. I mean, it's large, but imagine like every screen goes blue screen of death. The Australian guy said that this is probably going to be a huge financial hit to the world. We're talking, hundreds of billions probably, possibly even more, with what has gone on so far because of these blue screens of death and this CrowdStrike update flood. So how'd you like to be standing in that right there? That right now is an airport and a very common scene. Let's see. It looks like it's an English North checkpoint. I'm not quite sure which one that is, but as you can see, it is absolute chaos. More blue screens of death. Everybody. So, planes grounded at Gatwick Airport, 5 miles away. Let's see what else. Cybersecurity firms CrowdStrike says Friday that an issue has caused major disruptions of companies worldwide. Not a security incident or cyber attack. So, here is the statement right here. After they give you some, not a security incident or cyber attack, and actively working with customers impacted by the defect, issue identified, isolated, fix has been deployed. Okay, now this was 3 hours ago, and still there's issues going on. So that should tell you everything you need to know right there. So, when Microsoft teams with CrowdStrike and the whole world suddenly needs a timeout. Absolutely correct. So, largest IT outages in the world happening right now. Major Windows blackout globally affecting banks, airports, businesses. Thousands of systems are restarting, showing the blue screen of death, or Microsoft is not the source of the outage. So a lot of people are really angry at Microsoft right now because so many things run on Windows. I mean, I'm not a fan of Windows. I'm going to be honest with you. I use Apple and Mac for a reason. I've used them for basically my entire life. When I used to be in the restaurant business, so I didn't use computers. But when I stepped out into more of clerical duties, I went with Mac. I've always been an iPhone guy, and I'm not here to have a debate between Samsung and iPhone. But the fact is that the Microsoft Windows people that are seeing that blue screen of death in front of you are really, really unhappy right now because they feel that the ball has been dropped. And that's the other thing. It would be one thing if it was a cyber attack. At least a cyber attack, you can say, okay, there's a rogue actor here. Let's go get him. This wasn't even that. This was a flub and an update. So this guy, blue screen of death, takes on a whole new meaning when it comes up in one's hospital room. To be clear, my care has not been affected. Staff are handling this. Good, I'm glad. Little no risk of me dying, but think about that. That's your grandfather right now. That's your husband. That's your son. They're sitting in a hospital, and all of a sudden the blue screen of death pops up, and they can't receive potentially critical care. That's the problem with all this. All these kind of things are going on, and this is the problem with a society that is absolutely, totally, and completely reliant on all things IT, technical, computer-based. There's all kinds of jokes going on out there about Skynet uploading itself. Think about that. There's a lot of artificial intelligence and other things that are being employed into the world right now to run things autonomously without human intervention and very limited oversight. And this is what we're getting here. I mean, I don't know about you, but if that was my dad, I'd be freaking out right now. If that was my mom would be freaking out. My mom doesn't handle stuff so well. If she's sitting there, because she just got off of cancer, she actually had a checkup 2 days ago, and she is completely free and clear and good, and everything is maintaining and sustaining, and she's good. But if she's in there getting critical care for cancer, and the blue screen of death comes up, I mean, freaky. So, as you can see right here, try to find some more. Linux desktops might not be ideal yet, but at least this stuff should be operated on Linux. I would agree. I've always thought about getting I have a Faraday, a makeshift Faraday cage with a large trash can, copper lining, copper tape, done to specs. It does work, at least the cell phone trick. And I have always thought about getting a 150, 200, in fact, now I think I'm going to do it. I've always had it kind of as the background. Like $150 to $200 Linux computer that just has all kinds of emergency updates on it, or, emergency files and everything, and keep it into the makeshift Faraday cage. Because think about it, books and everything are great, but if I could open up a computer and I've got an entire library of canning and, trapping and all kinds of different skills, food, field medicine, plant identification and things like that. Having that would be invaluable in a long emergency. So, they're fixing it. As you can see, the kittens on the right side are working hard. Go kitties. You've got this. You cute little devils. Vegas Sphere is gone. This one is, I'm telling you, you want to talk about an iconic image. Right there. The Vegas Sphere, folks. I mean, can you imagine? You're in Vegas, 4 a.m. This thing is really starting to go around the globe, Eastern time. So about 2 a.m., out there in Vegas, you're getting done, you're exiting the casino, and you're ready to go get a fat burger and kind of call it a night and go back to your hotel room and engage in some more illicit activities. And you look up and there's the Vegas Sphere, and the thing has got the blue screen of death on it. Kind of crazy. So let's put all of this together, folks, okay? First and foremost, for the love of all that is holy, can you please have something out, even just like a few days worth of money? Get $100, okay? You can do a lot with $100. You can at least get, 3 days worth of food, especially nowadays, with $100 cash. Cash will always be accepted. I'm sorry. I really can't see a time in the not so distant future, in the near future, where cash is not accepted. The other thing, have everything topped off and checked out. Audit your stuff. We are moving our preps. They were over at the bug out farm. She's getting ready to build and create a new whole thing, a new barn, a new everything, right? And we have to move some of our stuff out because it's been in areas that are going to not be there for us. And we are completely fixing everything over here at the PrepperNow farmette and getting it ready for it. As we're doing it, we're auditing it. We're going through it. What's this? What's the date? How good is it? Where do we put it? We organize. That's the one thing about my wife. Not a prepper, but totally organized. So for her, she's like, if I'm going to have this stuff, it's got to be organized. So we're going through it and checking it and organizing and everything else. Also, just, have a network of people. What happens if all the communications go down? Do you have neighbors that you talk to? Maybe one of them is former military and they've got access to information that you don't. Maybe in our little area here, we have a mechanic. We have my wife, who is basically a doctor. We have a gunsmith. We have a pastor, a retired pastor, and we have a champion gardener, floral. Our neighbors. You should see her garden. I mean, it is absolutely tremendous. It's inspiring. But these are the people around us. And we talk to each other. And the reason why is because someone's trail cam clicks off because a coyote is near and we have cats and dogs and other stuff. Heaven forbid, we tell each other, we talk, we go over and we wave as we leave the driveway and drive down the road and say, and we watch each other. If someone's over there at my neighbor's house and I know they're not supposed to be there, you best believe we're going to, I don't know if I'm going to engage, but I'm going to definitely, alert people if it looks like nefarious crap's going down. So that's the main thing, is that all this, we're so reliant, folks, on all of this technology. And to be perfectly honest with you, this is what happens when you don't have redundancy, when you don't have backup systems, when you don't have food prepped, when you don't have money out of the bank or your cars are filled up or whatever. A lot of people are really having a trouble right now. And honestly, this is not a super huge deal on a global level. I mean, this isn't like, you guys remember the movie Blade Runner 2049 or whatever the heck it was? The one that just came out about 4 or 5 years ago with Gossett or whatever his name, Gosling. That movie is about a total collapse in all of the information and computer systems on the planet, and everybody loses everything. Every document, every information, every digital money, everything, bank account, all of it is wiped out. I don't know about you, but I mean, that is not something I think will happen, but it is absolutely a potential thing. We're getting into a lot of chaos to come. There are a lot of people that are unhappy with the way that the American political sphere is evolving. They don't like it. There's a lot of people that are feeling like all of the interventions they have done to craft things in their way to make it so their control of the world is ongoing, that are feeling like that's spiraling out of control. So an abrupt and sudden kind of event, like, say, a global outage, would definitely kind of just, set things back to where they want them. There's a reason they want to build back better, okay? And to do that, sometimes you got to dismantle. So I need everybody to kind of take all this into stride, have redundancy, and don't be so reliant on technology. That's a big theme over here on PrepperNow. By the way, if you're new here, consider subscribing, darken out the bell. We have intelligent talks about world events that are going on, and then we put it together on a preparedness basis. And I think you'd be crazy not to see the implications of being so reliant on technology that you basically can't do stuff. There are people that do everything through technology. They order their food through technology. They transport themselves through technology. Everything is done from their smartphone. Imagine that global internet outage. Imagine if this was all of the internet everywhere and I'm not even able to broadcast to you. What would that look like? So I think it's important for people to do the basics. Have a little bit of money out, whatever that looks like to you. That's on you. Have the ability to transport yourself, because who knows? I mean, maybe something happened and it was look, East Palestine, Ohio. I don't know about you, but me and the family, knowing that a noxious gas was coming, we wouldn't be there. We'd be gone. I don't know. We might be living out of the car for about a week or so, but we're going to clear the air first. I'm not going to live there if I'm worried about my kids' lungs. Stuff like that. Have an exit plan, okay? Have a field study. What's going on around you? What does your area look like? Who are your neighbors, like I said? There's all kinds of stuff you can do to prepare where you're not spending money. You know, having food is incredible. It's great. I love having food. I love going out and going, oh, great, I'm going to go get a package of spaghetti that I bought 3 years ago that's perfectly fine. My kid was looking at my rice stores the other day and saying, oh, my God, Dad, look at all this rice. And I said, yeah, we'll never basically have to buy it again if we don't want to and everything goes right. All that kind of stuff. This is the kind of things that people need to be considering right now. We're going into a time of chaos. The world is evolving. There's global conflict everywhere. If you checked out my crisis report from yesterday, literally everything is spiraling out of control. Northern Israel is about to go hot. Southern Israel is not calming down in any way, shape, or form. The SMO in Eastern Europe is having some evolution in a bad way, as they know that NATO and America might not be there for their back. So all these countries are doing all kinds of stuff to buffer their military, to the point where von der Leyen said she thinks they need to have a European Ministry of Defense. There was a guy that thought that Taiwan was going to be taken within the next 7 days, a Japan military analyst. And if one of these dominoes falls, the whole thing's going to get going. Everybody's going to start going for broke. And that's where we are. We're just in a very precarious time. You add in some kind of a disruption like the global outage, internet, whatever, banking, airports, travel, all that stuff. Just trying to purchase food at an Aldi from a kiosk that's got a blue screen of death. All that kind of stuff is starting to happen more and more and more. We were 1 inch away on Saturday night from everything in the world being vastly different and potentially a heck of a lot more chaotic. So please take all this stuff seriously, okay? And I know that most people here are. All right? If you're a member of my community here, I love having you. I love all the people that are members. Roger McKeon, thank you for supporting. $2 a month. Less than a coffee, keeps me going and talking. If you are new here, you don't got to join anything. Just subscribe. Give me a week. Give me a couple weeks and see what we can do to help your preparedness. And he talked about the geopolitics of what's going on, because I have a degree in it. I've got 3 degrees. I'm an educator. I'm a history teacher. I can assure you the knowledge that you will get here will be incredibly robust and also as correct as possible. And if something is wrong, you ask anyone. I will immediately come out and I will correct it. All right, folks, I'm going to call it on this one. I really appreciate you all being here. Kevin Grip, thank you for gifting the 5 memberships. Kevin is probably my most solid supporter. I really appreciate you, brother. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. What do you think? Has something affected you? Have you noticed anything? Did this affect your job? Did this affect your money? Did this affect your travel? Put a comment in so we can talk about it and have the continued conversation. And please join the community here. The community here is, like I said, the smartest people are here. I'm telling you, the people, the really smart preppers, the people that are seeing things forward, they're here. They're the ones that are subscribing. And they share knowledge every day that is incredibly important and invaluable, really. All right, folks, God bless you all. I really appreciate you. Be careful of the blue screen of death. So far, looks like it's starting to get fixed, but stay nimble. And as we say here, Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep your head in the swivel and your powder dry. And we appreciate you coming by. PrepperNow. I'm going to be going on live to the crisis report at about 5 minutes to 11 o'clock at the latest. That is youtube.com/@crisisreport. I would love to have you over there where I will take you through everything. God bless. Have a great day.